what makes you like think that this person actually like is going through something, even though that you can see on the outside they look fine, but like how do we like really get into that like person to make sure that they're okay?
I think that can be tough. It depends on how well you know this person, first of all, but like in general, like look at their eyes. If somebody does not want to live and they're going through some shit, you can see their eyes. They're not going to look at you. They're going to look through you because they don't see anything. They don't see past that. They see through you. They don't see anything. They're not looking at anything in life. There's nothing to look at. That's why it's always through.
Wow.
So like you can tell a lot by how a person by their eyes.
Yeah.
Like their health and everything, and that's the gateway to the soul is the eyes.
And what really sucks is that like when his death happened and I went to his funeral, I was like really thinking one day, and I was just like laying in my bed. I was like, dang. I wish I could have like, give him that ride when I didn't feel like it. Or I wish that like I could have, said something to him or just like talk it out.
I thought about that a lot too. And like he'd pop into my mind and I'd like think about that. And like, I kind of got to the conclusion that like there was really nothing that anybody could have done, like he made that decision and nobody, like if we did know, we would have tried to stop him, but because he actually really wanted to kill himself, he didn't tell anybody and he just did it.
Yeah.
And like I remember the day before that happened, we were all in Hobgood's class and we were up there and he was like telling everyone about how like he like, okay, it was like subtle. Like he was talking about how like he doesn't care about anything in life, so he's just gonna be like an oil miner and like just make as much money as he can, and then he was gonna like buy a bus and like ride it around the United States and shit, and like just like after he makes enough money and like just do that and travel, and then like the next day we come into class and he killed himself. And so like it was weird because like he was talking about all these things, but like how he was speaking, it was subtly like indicating like I'm gonna kill myself.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Quest of the Future Messiahs, QFM over here. And you got your main man, Gifted, or Giphy Messiah, and the usual team. Introduce yourselves, man.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Kenny J. We out here, QFM. Let's get it.
It's your boy, Xavier, over here, chilling.
Professor X over there, man.
Yes, sir.
Facts. He got a new hair every day, man, for real. My man got the braids and all that other shit. Now he got that. It's crazy. So we got a whole new rapper interview here with... introduce yourself, man.
Yes, sir. My name is Raiz. I go by Raizinvibrations as well. They call me Raiz because we either, if you read it as Raiz or Rise, like, because the pronunciation with the AI, you can read it as Raiz or Rise. Either way, that means going up.
It's wordplay, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do you watch battle rap by any chance?
Yeah, I have.
Who's your favorite battle rapper?
Damn.
Just say one. Just say one.
Fuck. I'm trying to remember his name.
Was it like a long time ago? Or
yeah,
recent?
It was a couple years ago. I was like big in the battle rap, like when I first started working on like lyricism and stuff and like getting my words down. But I kind of fell out of it and just started focusing on like just actual music.
But I'm saying like just name one so I can make sure that you know what you're talking about.
Fuck, what is his name? Oh, it's like Tay Rock. I think.
You like Tay Rock?
Tay Rock, yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bro, he got bars though.
I mean, he's cool. He's alright.
I like his deliveries.
Yeah, but it's the same every time. You get what I mean? There's a lot of gum bars every time. Sue Surf, though, fire. Fire, I'm not going to lie. Disaster, his lyricism is, like, out of control. But, you just ruined my hopes because I'm thinking you're going to name some fire.
Damn, yo.
You see what I'm saying? Now, but anyways, so, like, tell me about your background.
Okay, so I pretty much grew up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I lived in Raleigh for about, like... I lived in Raleigh till I was like 4 years old or so, and then I finally moved like out to Franklinton, and I like went to school out there for a bit. We were kind of poor growing up, so like it was kind of tough like getting through shit sometimes, and like I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of stuff like especially with my parents that like developed me into like the way I am now. And like I look at all that as like kind of a positive thing because like a lot of people are so like stressed out and upset like about their past and they're focused on like I wish this didn't happen or like maybe I would be better like without this or that, but like it all led you to exactly where you're supposed to be right now. So like I don't know.
So do you feel as if like I guess like people become so much of a victim of their past to the point where they're not able to make them a better person?
Yeah, so like they get stuck in this victim mindset and like they start searching for it exteriorly. Like they look to their exterior and they try to find people who will like give them what they've been like looking
pity.
for. Yeah, they look for the pity and everything because like they're not giving anything to themselves. Like they just want people to feel bad for them because they're not trying to get out of this hole. They just feel like everything's shitty and that they can't really like make it out. So because of this mindset, they're stuck here and they're not figuring anything out. It's not a growth mindset. It's just complacent. Yeah. Like they're not going to make it anywhere because they're not looking at it like, oh, like, okay, like my car broke down. They're like, fuck, now I got to pay all this money and stuff like that. But instead it'd be like, well, at least I didn't get into a wreck. And like, you know, I do have the money for this. And even if I don't, I will have the money. So it's like, you got to like have an abundant mindset. Like it'll come to you. You'll get that. But if you're just sitting there like, damn, like focusing on the problem, where are you going to go?
True. Do you think it's more of like a, when he set him on purpose, or is it more of like a systematic mindset?
I feel like it's not purposeful. I don't think people are purposely like looking for pity. Like it seems like that surface level, but like the deeper aspect is like within the mind, like their experiences, whatever they went through, like maybe their parents were like that, you know? Yeah. Like maybe they like constantly did that and were looking for pity and like would gaslight and like make their kid feel bad and like guilt trip them just because like that's the same problem that they had. And then it was passed on because, you know, like generational trauma can come from the bloodline.
Definitely.
So like, especially if that parent had a lot of trauma in their life, that's going to be transferred over to that kid. And if that parent hasn't healed anything, they're going to project the same experiences and stuff onto that kid. And then it's going to be a cycle until one day like someone realizes like, damn, I need to heal this. Like this isn't even my shit, but I got to heal this. And so many people like they try and like think that, oh, like now that I got the like problem figured out, then it's done. But like, damn, it was something like, okay, instant knowledge is not like a long-term solution. You know, like you can know the problem, but are you doing anything about it? And also like you got to like make it's slow. Like no one's timeline is linear. Like you could be like 2 years ahead of me right now and like I'm here, but then like maybe like 3 weeks I'm like 4 years ahead of where you are now. Like nobody's timeline is linear. So many people compare to other people. Comparisons do nothing but bring you down because you are not anybody else. You are just yourself. So if you spend all this time like, oh, well, this person's already here, I'm here, like I want to get up there. Like you're not focusing on the journey. We're all focused on this goal and it's all goal oriented. Like when I do this, then I'll get here. And like, this is my goal. But like, you got to stop and smell the roses. You got to appreciate like the journey as you go along, celebrate the little victories, because that also adds to your mindset. If you're like constantly working and you're not allowing yourself to be like, hey, you know, like I'm proud of myself for this, like I've been doing good, like I made this progress, like it's not where I want to be, but I'm better than I was the last time. And like that goes back to with my music, like I'm not trying to make the best song every single time. I'm just trying to do better than I did the last time, and that's more than enough improvement for me, because the further and further you go and you do that, it'll be incremental growth, and it's not going to just be one big like jump, because you can't climb the ladder or walk up the steps if you're trying to go 5 at a time. You're going to trip and fall. You're going to, you know, hurt your ankle.
It's not going to be perfect every time.
Nah, it's not.
You know what's funny? You literally just took everything I was going to say and you literally just took it out of my mind. I can't even explain it. That shit is crazy. I was about to say that. Yeah. But, you know, so like I guess, you know, and I definitely do agree, you know, when you talk about, you know, and before I go on, is that one of the reasons why you make music, is so you could kind of like teach people not only to show off your talent, but to also teach people to, I guess, like be positive and know how to heal from their trauma.
I want people to grow and learn. Like one of the thing that I always say is like, one of the biggest reasons I started in music is because I remember for the longest time I didn't feel understood. I felt unaccepted. I felt like I was not a part of anything, and like I was just alone. And so like listening to music, hearing someone like be able to take the words out of my mind and I can relate to that, it feels like someone understands me. So that's what I try to do with my music. I want people to be understood and know that like they're not alone out there. And even if you are alone, that's the best thing in the fucking world. Like if you are by yourself and there is like no one else to fuck with your energy, and you know you and you take time to study you, like you got to ask yourself who you really are. But take away your name, take away all the like other shit, your accomplishments, take away all of that. Like who are you within outside yourself? Do you know yourself? Like you may know you do this type of thing for like, you know, like, oh, like this is the reason why I put my shoe on this way, or like whatever it may be. But like, do you actually know why? Like that was a bad example, but like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you.
I get what you're saying, you know. It takes a lot of self-discovery to really figure out like a lot of shit about yourself. Yeah. And, you know, there's times where like, you know, I don't really think anyone necessarily likes being alone. But at the same time is like, it's definitely good because you get to actually see, okay, am I like this? Am I like this? And not only knowing the problem, like you said, but knowing how to solve it. Because some people, you know, and I've met some people to where they would complain, they would talk about problems that they have, but what are you really doing to fix that issue?
They're not doing anything because they're stuck in this problem mindset. What it is they want people to give them a solution, but they're not actually going to do anything. They just want to feel like they're heard. They're just constantly trying to be like, this is my problem, this is my problem. They don't want anyone to fix it. That's why, like, you know, like dudes in relationships with girls where they're trying to fix this guy multiple times and like he just keeps fucking her over. It's because he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to change. He just wants to keep doing what he's doing. And if you give someone something without like risk, they're going to take advantage of that. If you give someone a reward and there's no risk, it's human nature. They're going to take advantage of that. Unless they're conscious enough of themselves to realize, like, hey, if you keep doing this, like, that could possibly happen, then they got to remove themselves.
Yeah.
And, like,
because I feel like with a lot, you know, like, again, like, what we all talk about in this podcast is really, like, teaching accountability.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that, like, as black men especially, you're like, well, we had a Hispanic guest, but you're like our first, like, person that our white guest, you know, so it's good to hear that perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh, no problem, man. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, no problem.
And so it's just with that type of mindset, you can't just like let a problem keep going on and on and on because you can't. How are you like? I think about this. Just imagine if you have kids and they were going through the same issue.
Yeah, see, that's a big thing right there. A lot of people don't realize, like, we all have an inner child, and like, ask yourself, do you talk to other people the way you talk to yourself? Let's say you're in like a shitty situation. You just need someone to listen or talk. Like, you're going to tell them like, oh, it's fine, it'll get better. You know, like, are you just going to like brush it off and like act like, you know, not even acknowledge it? Because like oftentimes people don't want you to just like give them a solution. They just want to be able to be upset. Like, you got to allow yourself to feel the emotions, because like if we feel something we don't like, a lot of times we'll intellectualize it and we'll try and process it and like justify it for another person doing it for us. But like that's not doing shit for you, because you're not actually feeling the emotion. You may understand and like know what it is, but you're not feeling it because you're disregarding it and invalidating yourself at that point. Like, emotions, we can't help how we feel them. We can only help how we react. Like, we don't need to like react to situations. We need to respond, because reacting is emotional based. So responding comes from a place of like a good mentality and actually like conscious work with yourself.
I literally be saying that.
Yeah, bro.
I be saying the same shit. That's crazy. For real. The same stuff you literally just said is crazy.
Fuck yeah.
But
another thing is that I think that people would actually love to have these conversations, but I think they're so, like, I don't want to say like egotistical, but I think it's more of like, oh, we want to like get our point out across and we want them to understand versus like, oh, we're not listening to understand, we're listening to respond. You know?
Exactly. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, people were like, oh, communication's key. No, it's not. Understanding is, because we can talk all fucking day. Exactly. But if you don't understand where I'm coming from, then we're not going to get anywhere. And like, same thing with like opinions and like arguments. Like, it does not have to be an argument. You can have a debate, but if you're going to argue your point, then you need to understand the opposition in order to be like, hey, this is why I don't agree with that, but I can see why you think that.
Because when you're understanding, that don't mean you're agreeing with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You just know, okay, I understand why they did it. You know what I mean? I understand.
Exactly.
But that don't mean that I'm going to go for it. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the thing that, you know, again, you're seeing everything like pretty much is a broken record. But at the end of the day, it's just really more of just learning about yourself. But what you got to understand also is some people are going to misunderstand you.
Absolutely.
So it's like, sometimes you kind of have to lean back and you kind of have to let them, because I may misunderstand sometimes.
Yeah.
I may have say something to Xavier. He may not understand me. KJ, you know, vice versa and stuff. But you got to let them, because again, people learn shit differently.
Yeah.
So you have to let them process the information differently. But if I know I have a problem with you, I'm going to figure out, okay, am I tripping right now? Am I the wrong person? And I'm going to try to gain different perspectives. But some people are not going to do that.
Nah, it's because they don't care enough. Like, it's all about control. They want to control how you respond to things. Like, if someone reacts or responds to something in a way that you don't like, oftentimes people are trying to get control over that. They're like, why'd you do that? And like, they're so like fixated on it, and like they get upset and they're like, I can't believe you did that. But like, that just happened. It was just an experience. It's all just an experience. Like, I do not care what anybody says to me. Like, it does not matter what it is, how hateful it is, any of that. Like, it's just an experience. Like, wow, someone just said that to me. Cool. Like, I just let it slide because I'm not even going to give my energy and effort to that, because oftentimes if people are like being hateful and just trying to put others down, that's just because that's how shitty they feel. They're like, I want you to feel the same way as me because this isn't fair that I feel this. They feel like people owe them shit, but nobody owes you nothing. It's all just an experience. You got to detach from everything. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing has anything to do with you. How people talk to you, whatever, like that has nothing to do with you whatsoever. And you got to keep operating as if there is no problem unless someone tells you there is. Because if you don't, you're going to get in your own head. And like, if you're trying to stop overthinking, a little tip is just stare at something. Because when we think, we're looking around. We're using our eyes to look up, left, right, down. Just stare at something.
Yeah.
And then like just acknowledge it. Just be like, wow, that's what I was thinking about. And then just let it be.
But when you want to, that's different for people you don't really give, you don't really care for.
Yeah, I do agree.
If
it
it's
is.
people that you care about, like I said, there's, someone that we may be in a relationship with. There's people that, that you may love, but yet there's just this one misunderstanding.
Yeah.
So it's like, what you got to realize is that you have to be patient with that.
Absolutely.
You have to be patient with that because, like I said, like if you're dealing with these type of people, just imagine when you have kids.
Yeah.
Are you going to behave the same way because of the same way they're acting with somebody, how someone else was reacting towards you?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to be adaptable in a sense, just so you could tell your son or your daughter, hey, I've been through the same thing, or I've experienced that before.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you kind of have to, like, if it's someone that you care for, you kind of have to be patient enough for you to try to understand. You have to understand that there's going to be misunderstandings.
Absolutely. Because there always will be.
So it's like that's just something that you have to care for, but you have to know that.
Yeah.
We have to know that. You get what I mean? We have to
be conscious of it.
Exactly. So if we're not knowing that, then again, how are we going to get over the problem? How are we going to solve the problem if we're not thinking, if we're not responding?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah, exactly.
guys, the definition, technically reacting and responding is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use, our definitions of it,
Yeah.
reacting is making an action based off of your first thought. Responding is making an action based off of the best decision or the best thought that you have.
It's more methodical.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And I think that with a reaction, that's more of like if someone punches you, of course you want to punch them back.
Yeah,
Self-defense. But if it's just words or whatever, you have to be able to respond.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you keep on reacting all the time, you're never going to learn. You're never going to understand. And the whole world is going to be in verbal chaos due to that. You see what I'm saying?
And like a lot of the way people act now, like they don't realize that they're not even themselves. Like you learn and are conditioned by your parents and everything that happens to you throughout life. Like ask yourself, like, how many of the things I do or what I think was my own thought? Like, did I come to this assumption or did someone else say that? And I was like, yeah, that must be right because I don't know. Like, how many things do you believe or act a certain way just because someone else did it? Like, that's not even really you. You are living based off of someone else.
Yeah. And that's something that we kind of have. And again, that's what I promote is just being able to have accountability and just self-express yourself the right way.
Yes.
You get what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, it's like you kind of have to look at certain things and why these people are teaching you.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Everything's a lesson. And
Yeah.
if it's not a lesson, then it's a blessing. Like it's like either way. And the lesson's always a blessing in disguise.
Facts. Mm-hmm. So speaking of blessings.
Yeah.
Count on my blessings. Did I say it right?
Yeah, count my blessings.
Count my blessings. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure because I have it on my notes. I may have spelled it wrong.
Are you good?
But so what was that song about?
That song was more so about like being appreciative for the things that you already have in life and not looking too forward like in the things you don't have, because everything in this world you already have it. It's just a matter of time before it becomes a like physical entity. Like you don't maybe I don't have like millions and millions of followers right now or something like that, but like maybe later on like that happens, and like I'm not like per se looking for that. I'm appreciating like the opportunities I have now. Like I don't have a huge following, but like I'm here doing this interview and I just put out like a new song on all platforms and like I'm making little steps. So like these are the little things that I appreciate on the way, and that's what like Count Your Blessings is about, counting the things that you're grateful for in the moment. And it's also to like not let other people fuck with you in your mental, because when you are doing good, people will only treat you poorly if you're doing better than they are. And if you're doing better than they are, of course they're not going to want you to succeed because that threatens their ego. Because they're like, well, I want to do that. But they don't even think about the timeline because, like, it goes back to that as well. Like, yours is not linear, so I can't compare to you. I can't compare to this artist and, like, this one. Like, maybe they put out one song and they blew up, but I didn't. So, like, that has nothing to do with me. Great. I'm glad that you know, that happened because, like, you got to look at other people's success as something to be grateful for. Like, yo, you made it. You did something that you were passionate about. You actually had a success. Like, that's a great fucking thing. But other people will be envious of that. But that envy is just going to bring you down. You can't accomplish shit if you're focused on others.
So, you know, about, like, counting my blessings, and, you know, this is just relative to this podcast.
I was just about to get into that.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, basically what I was just going to say is, like, that's so relatable because, like, me, Giff, you know, Xavier, and Kamal, shout out to him.
Shout out to Kamal, he's not here.
But, like, it's just so crazy how, you know, everything just comes, like, 360. Like, me and Giff weren't even expecting to, like, go to a business meeting. Next thing you know, we're doing the podcast. We're in the studio, and we're, like, pushing all this type of context.
All this
content and stuff, and, like, getting it on YouTube. And, like, I think it's great to, like, not really focus on numbers or anything, you know, because I remember, like, one of our snippets or reels got, like, over 3,000 views, you know, and, like, we looked at it, it was just, like, cool, but, you know, we gotta keep going. Like, we didn't really think, like, too much of it.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it's, like, the best way for you to produce content out like that is when, like, you're not really thinking too much about the outcome, but you're still focused on, like, what your end goal is.
Yeah, you're focused on the content. Making it good. Each time is getting better and better. And that will increase in time as well. And then you'll have more and more opportunities. But if it's always a passion, it's never work. It's never goal-oriented. It's just what it is. It's just something you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
And you actually can, like, make something off of it. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, people don't chase their passions enough. But you got to go for what you want for in life. Because if you don't, you're never going to get it. Like, let's say you fail. Well, you tried.
Facts.
But the thing is, you can't succeed unless you fail.
Yeah.
You will never only know success. You have to fail if you're going to find success.
And the thing is, too, is that, like, I've been doing this for 2 years, maybe almost 3.
Yeah.
There was times to where I felt really discouraged because the people that I brought, how I was doing it, I felt the people that supported me. There was times to where I didn't really want to do it, but I did it anyways.
Yeah.
And I had to put it in my head, like, you know, you know, again, this is our vision, but I'm the leader of this vision.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like, I got to know, okay, I can't be a vibe absorber. I got to be a vibe creator.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and just let maybe one thing happen because they didn't let us schedule this for a time or a guest didn't come in. There's some teachers that don't come in because, you know, they flake on us.
Yeah.
Like, what, this is the date or something? You acting like I'm asking on the date.
You be thinking, like, it's our guests that be, like, flaking something, but it's actually the teachers.
It be the teachers.
Damn.
The teachers, you know, we have high expectations with adults, but the students be here, bet.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was this guy, you know, do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah.
Like, there was this guy, you know, shout out to Quentin.
Shout out Q, man.
Facts. And we did an interview with him, and he wasn't even going to go. But I was like, you know what? You know, if you don't want to go, that's fine, because his father, shout out to his father, he had stem surgery, and he went anyways. And I respected that because he didn't have to go.
Yeah.
But he came anyways.
Yeah.
You know how far that will take when someone didn't have to do something, but they did it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's even more appreciated too, because it's like you actually decided to go out of your way. Like, you made this important.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. So many people are, like, focused on trying to get people to, like, make things important. But if it's not important to them, they're not going to put effort into it. You can't control that. And that goes back to the control in general. You can't control anybody else's actions.
Yeah. And also, it's like, you know, I need to be grateful of, like, what I have now, because, like, I wasn't as confident before, but now I'm confident not only because of me and the changes I had to make personally, but also with the people that I have. I need to have a strong team foundation.
Yes,
Because if
exactly.
I don't have it, then it's like, you know, there was people that I kind of had to let off.
Yeah.
And this is, like, in the past, like 2 years ago. And because they weren't the personalities that I needed within this journey.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, we have roles, and I love having roles, families, whatever, friend groups, whatever.
Yeah.
I love having those roles. And when you have those roles and y'all complete it, it's perfect after that. It's perfect. So, you know, again, you know, count my blessings. And I think, like, each song, you know, I have 4 songs here. Each song illustrates how the progression that it takes for us to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So
consistency.
So the second one, not the second one, sorry. The Avid freestyle.
Oh, Avid freestyle.
Avid, okay.
Yeah.
Avid. So that was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to it, came from work. I was like, oh, shoot, this dude's spitting right here. God,
yeah.
Give him the battle rap right now. He's spitting. You know, and so there was this quote that said, put the gun to your head. Mm-hmm. Something happened, you know, maybe not. You know,
so like what that was about like the time like I decided I was going to try and kill myself because I was in a really bad spot, like 15, 16 years old. Like mentally I was really like fucked up. Like I did not care about anything, like just very depressed. Like nothing really mattered at all. And I remember like I went into my dad's bedroom and I grabbed his gun and I put it up to my chin right here and I was about to pull it and I heard their car come in. And they pulled in, like, right as I was about to pull in. And then I was like, I can't do that. Like, because I was thinking, like, how they would hear the shot. And then they'd come in and just, like, see me dead. And, like, my fucking guts everywhere. And I was like, I couldn't do that. And then after that, I was like, yo, like, there's a reason they came home at that time. Like, it's just not my time to go. And, like, after that, like, that was a big, like, waking up point because I was fucking dead set on it. And then it was, like, right when that happened, it switched. So it felt like, you know, God in itself, like, that whole thing happened exactly how it was supposed to. Like, it was divine timing. Because if not, I would not be here right now.
Wow.
Shout out to you,
really
man, for real. I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Dang,
Did you tell him about it?
No.
You didn't?
Wow.
No.
Do you plan to?
Well, he'll probably watch this.
Oh.
So I guess, hey, Dad, you found out.
Chase, what the fuck is this? No, but go ahead.
I would say, damn, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, you remember Caleb?
Caleb? Oh yeah.
Caleb Bose. Yeah. So there was just a kid that went to our high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually ended up like killing himself. But what was
Rest in
crazy
peace.
that R.P. Caleb, man.
Facts, man.
But
RIP.
you know what was crazy is that he used to be like very energetic. He was like the guy, you know. You didn't really think that he would have like problems or like thoughts about that, you know, because every time you've been around him, he always had like good energy, you know, always welcome, and
he knew no stranger.
Exactly. Like, but what's crazy is that, you know, some people, yes, he might have thought it was weird. I even thought it was weird, like at times, you know. But there was even times where I would give him them Raiz and everything, and I wouldn't feel like it because it would be out of the way, you know. So I guess like my question is that, you know, you know, like people. What makes you like think that this person actually like is going through something, even though that you can see on the outside they look fine, but like how do we like really get into that like person to make sure that they're okay?
I think that can be tough. It depends on how well you know this person, first of all, but like in general, like look at their eyes. If somebody does not want to live and they're going through some shit, you can see their eyes. They're not going to look at you. They're going to look through you. Because they don't see anything. They don't see past that. They see through you. They don't see anything. They're not looking at anything in life. There is nothing to look at. That's why it's always through.
Wow.
So like you can tell a lot by how, you know, a person by their eyes.
Yeah.
Like their health and everything, and that's the gateway to the soul is the eyes.
And what really sucks is that, like, you know, when his death happened and I went to his funeral, I was like really thinking one day, and I was just like laying in my bed. I was like, dang, I wish I could have, like, you know, given him that ride when I didn't feel like it. Or I wish that, like, I could have, you know, said something to him or just, like, talk it out.
You know, I thought about that a lot, too. And, like, he'd pop into my mind, and I'd, like, think about that. And, like, I kind of got to the conclusion that, like, there was really nothing that anybody could have done. You know, like, he made that decision. And nobody, like, if we did know, we would have tried to stop him. But because he actually really wanted to kill himself, he didn't tell anybody, and he just did it. Yeah. And, like, I remember the day before that happened, we were all in Hobgood's class. And we were up there, and he was, like, telling everyone about how, like, he, like, okay, it was, like, subtle. Like, he was talking about how, like, he doesn't care about anything in life, so he's just going to be, like, an oil miner and, like, just make as much money as he can. And then he was going to, like, buy a bus and, like, ride it around the United States and shit. And, like, just, like, after he makes enough money and, like, just do that and travel. And then, like, the next day we come into class and he killed himself. And so, like, it was weird because, like, he was talking about all these things, but, like, how he was speaking, it was subtly, like, indicating, like, I'm going to kill myself. And, like, it didn't seem like it's surface level, but just I remember thinking back to how he was talking, and I'm like, yo, how did I not notice that?
Right,
Like he was talking like, you know, like he would say subtle things like, I don't care about my life. But, you know, like back then, you know, like 2017, 2018, like a lot of that, like, you know, kill myself shit was still like popular. A lot of people would joke like that. So like it was hard to even like tell if that was him or not. Cause cause he would do that a lot. You know, he would say like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, and like just other stuff like that. And like not always, but like, you know, like fucked up jokes about himself.
Yeah.
And like that, okay, that's a good indicator right there. If someone makes a lot of jokes about themselves, they do not love themselves. They have a lot of self-hatred. Like if you're constantly cracking jokes at yourself like that, like you can crack jokes to yourself, that's cool. But like when it's like all the time, you know, and like how you say it. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Do you think it's like a coping mechanism?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, think about it, like, especially if they had a lot of people be hateful and mean to them as a kid, then they end up developing like a thought process of I need to do it to me.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, like you're constantly looking for confirmation. It's a confirmation bias. Like if you're told something and you're conditioned to believe this one thing, your brain is constantly going to search for that. Like let's say you been in like multiple relationships, you got cheated on, and like, you know, they lied to you and all this stuff, and like then in your next relationships you like start looking for those things. You're like, is she cheating? Like, is she doing this? And then it leads people to like go through their phones and shit like that, and that's because they're trying to get a confirmation bias. They're looking for that information to confirm what they already believe, which is what they've experienced.
And that's what I hate
cheating
as well too. You know, I was telling them this story. This may be way too personal. End up, you know, that confirmation bias end up a confirmation. But it's like I feel like once you start doing that and you already have like that mindset, how about with like that other person? You get what I mean?
What do you mean?
It's like when you're bringing that vibe into something, and mind you, they have this trauma that goes on and stuff like that. But if you're putting that into like you're putting that into the universe. Yeah. You get what I mean? So it's like when you keep thinking about it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it manifests.
It manifests.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I dealt with it's crazy because like once you start doing that type of stuff, it's like you can't do that. Like, you know, it's like and when you go on, I don't know, it's really crazy that you say these things because they end up so true. Yeah. And it's like when they have a lot of confirmation biases and it's just out of control.
Yeah, like another thing is we don't really focus on how we're doing mentally. Like a lot of people don't. We don't even consciously breathe right.
Slavery mentality.
Definitely.
Yeah, like we don't even breathe right. Like a lot of people just shallow breathe. Like they don't deep breathe into their stomach and use their nose. Cause like our nose is supposed to filter anything out. And like if you breathe into your stomach, you actually feel like you got more air in your lungs rather than breathing into your lungs because you got a fucking rib cage. So like it can't expand as much as your stomach can. So like breathing in your stomach through your nose, like you feel the difference rather than like taking a shallow breath. Like how we're just like here, like talking in sentences, we're taking shallow breaths, but like you feel it way more and like it feels good. You feel like a little buzz on your head. And like if you take a few seconds to consciously breathe, you'll be able to figure out a problem. And like if you just write down something, like let's say you got a bunch of things you're worried about on your mind, write them down. When you see them out in front of you and they're like physical, then like it's easier for your brain to be like, okay, that's not as big of a deal right now. And also like, can I even help this? Can I deal with that right now? Like, is there something I can do right now? No, don't worry about it. Like you got to like work on your mental to where you can do this in your head. So like doing practices like that will get you to level up.
I'm not gonna lie. What helps me was like taking cold showers sometimes. Yeah. And like I would tell that to like people, and they think I'm like crazy for taking cold showers.
That's actually like, healthier. Actually,
it is.
Yeah, it really is.
Good for your circulation.
Effective. Yeah. So like, let's say that I'm like it's on a warm section. I would turn it down to cold to like not only help the circulation, but it helps me like clear my mind and meditate.
Absolutely.
So like once that like first like wave of cold water hit me, I'll take that deep breath and then like it just like hits me everywhere.
Hell yeah.
It's like it kind of, you know, like when you hit a blunt and like you just inhales. Yeah. It feels like that, but it's more healthier, you know.
You know what's funny? You know, if you actually do that, like acting like you're doing it, but you're not, because you're taking deep breath. Technically, it's just with smoke. Yeah. When you're doing that, like he said, that's actually healthy. You're taking deep breaths and stuff like that. You're like you're actually doing it. You see what I'm saying? So it like, you know, and there was another thing I was talking about too, is like I feel like when you're talking about dealing with stress or dealing with anything complicated, what I do is I do voice memos.
Yes, that's a very good one.
I love doing voice memos.
Yes.
What I do is, because it's like, okay, here's an analogy. If you're trying to find a sock in the clothes basket, how you gonna find it?
Fucking look for it.
No, you're gonna look for it, but how you gonna look for it?
Don't get everything out.
exactly. You're gonna dump all of it out to find it. So it's like when I do my voice memos, and that's how I communicate to people. If I'm feeling like I have an issue, I'm screaming. I may scream. I may get mad. I might say all these belligerent stuff. That's because you're throwing all that trash or bad words away. And you're trying to find the right words to use. You're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take that one. Ooh,
I want to listen to these voice memos.
Nah, you don't want to.
Like,
it's life.
We also have a lot of emotional energy stored in us. Like when people hold that energy, like it goes into the muscles. That's where like this emotional energy is stored. That's why like when people get massages, they'll cry because it feels so good. This this energy has to go somewhere. It's always in a state of vibration. So like if we don't get it out, or like if you hold back your tears, or like you're really angry and you don't like do something to get it out. Like if you're really angry, a good thing is just start fucking sprinting. Sprint as fast as you can, because it's not destructive, and also like you just feel good afterwards. You
put your
like,
fire to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Got that from Skyrim, actually.
Hell yeah.
Have you played Skyrim?
I played a little bit. I never got big into it.
Come on, man. Come on. Nah, but like there was like this DLC, is like the Dragonborn DLC.
Yeah.
Is where you face another Dragonborn. So there's this village, it's called the Scow Village.
Yeah.
And there's this follower that you have, or a friend that you can bring. And she was like, oh, how I was taught to fight is, because she was angry a lot.
Yeah.
How I was taught to fight is put my fire to use.
Yeah.
So if I'm angry, I'm about to start, sparring with my sword or something like that.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm angry and stuff like that, I go on a run, or like I ride on swings, because like you said, you're getting rid of that emotional energy. You know what I mean? So
what I do is I just go to the gym.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You got muscles over here, man. We got Mr. Muscles right here, man.
Yeah,
it may not be there yet, but shit, it's coming.
I be going on runs. It just like clears my head.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like listen to music, but let's say if I'm running in like the neighborhood or something, but if I'm at the gym, I just put on some music.
Facts. I'm putting on music every time. So feed the clip.
Yes.
Let's talk about that one.
Feed the clip, yo.
This is the third song I heard.
Feed the Clip was one of my favorite songs that I've made so far. This one, I really just wanted to I wanted to put bars in there, like kind of like with Avid Freestyle. Yeah. It's mostly bars, and like I wanted it to just be like interesting, deviate a little bit from like more of the inspirational stuff, and just make something people can bump and just vibe with, like it's not so heavy. It's like
you was rapping fast, like a Tech 9 fast, not the battle rapper Tech 9, but the actual rapper Tech 9.
Yeah.
He was rapping. He was like, I said, what the fuck is this? He's rapping. I'm like doing notes and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is the song. And then like I'm hearing it. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is crazy. I was like mad, not mad, but I was like,
yeah. I
was on FaceTime with my friend too. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
And she's like, what? I'm like, this song is pretty good. It's
Fuck
pretty
yeah.
good.
I appreciate that. My friend Isaiah, shout out Next Level Shit right now. But so he produced that beat for it. And usually like I would do my own, or I would get one off of YouTube before I really started producing. But he produced this beat before like I really started getting into like producing all my own stuff. Okay. And when he sent it to me, I was like, yo, this is fucking perfect. And so like I got it on there, and it took me, I think like 4 days or so, like to get everything recorded and like mixed and then set up, and then I think like another week or two before I actually decided to release it, because I was trying to figure out like promos and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I just put it out. But that song, yeah, it was mainly just me like showing off like some like bars and skills and like wordplay, because I feel like as a rapper I want to be able to show like a lot of diversity in my music. Like I can do like slow, I can sing, like I can rap quick,
honestly,
or I can do like heavy bars and stuff.
That's what I like as well. Like, I don't like a rapper that does it, and that's what I'm saying about Tay-Rock. You can't, and I heard some, conspiracies. That's why I don't really fuck with them neither, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know about conspiracies, because I haven't kept up with it in so long. I just remember, like, I would get high as hell, and then I would watch, like, battle rap.
Okay, well... I'm not about to say it, but pretty much.
All right.
So pretty much like it was fire at first, because like the beginning of battle rap, right? There was everybody differently, right? Yeah. There was people in each category. There was a funny rappers, there was a real shit talk rappers, there was a lyrical rappers, and the reason why I like Disaster, or I would say Hollow the Don, or I would say maybe.
What about Chef G?
You mean Seb Trez? Who's Chef G?
He's a rapper from New York.
No, I was saying like battle rappers.
Oh.
But if you want to talk about that, I'm thinking about you talking about Chef Trez. I'm sorry.
Oh, nah, you good.
But nah, he's all right. I think he's all right. I mean, I'm from New York, so I mean, I would vibe with him, but I think he's all right too.
I feel that.
But I think like there was all these different categories of rappers that were pretty much like the same. You know, there wasn't the same.
There wasn't any
rappers.
deviation.
Exactly. So now in battle rap, everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone bow, like doing the same thing every time.
It gets repetitive.
Exactly. So when you're thinking about these type of things, it's like I like the diverse. And when you said diverse, that's something that I value within a rapper, is that they're not only just talk about one thing, they could talk about multiple things and vibe with it. So, yeah.
I mean, like, as an artist, you want to diversify your skill set. You want to branch out into other genres and different styles and stuff, because that's the only way you're going to grow as an artist. And then you can take all the elements you learn from other genres and, like, working with different beats and trying to make them, and you can incorporate that into your own music. And then, like, not per se create your own genre, but have your own style. Like, you're not following the same thing as everyone else. You take what you learn, and it's a collective, it's all, like, eclectic knowledge in order to, like, put forth, like, to grow.
If you speaking of that, man, you might need to work with Cashavelli.
That would be dope.
For real. We might, you know, if you're trying to diversify,
yeah, absolutely.
You can talk to him. We did an interview with him as well. I
Fuck
definitely would talk to him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But your last song, right? And I said, you know, your freestyle was my favorite freestyle, but I think Toxic Necessities was my favorite song.
Yeah.
And my favorite part was when you called the person, and they said, the person's not here, and I'm like, wow, because like that'd be times where like I break up with a girl or something, and I call, and they don't answer because they block me. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, right.
I feel bad, you know, that brought me to those times.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was the motivation behind that song?
The motivation for that one was so like I made that song probably about a year after all this happened, but there was this one girl I talked to for a while, and she like really fucked me over, led me on for like months and shit like that. And at the time, like I was codependent on people. I had like an anxious attachment style, and so like it was easy for people to take advantage of me because I would always be there no matter how like poorly they treated me, because I was just looking for someone to give me like love and affection and like all this other shit. And then like this is like sidetrack, but like later on I realized I'm the only one who can give that to me. And like once you give that to yourself, then like it'll be reflected outwards, because whatever you think inside is reflected outwards. So you're going to continue to meet the same people. The same people will be in different bodies until you learn the lesson that you're supposed to. But like, anyways, the motivation for that was her fucking me over. And like,
was there a reason?
Damn, this
Where's the tea?
Is tough. Yeah, this is.
Give me the prime.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
We gotta try to prime. Take a quick ad break.
Yep. Commercial break real quick. This video is sponsored by Drink Prime. You know, KSI gave us a little care package.
Yep.
We got all the flavors, but that's behind the scenes, you know. But
thank you, JJ.
Yep. We decided to get the tropical punch, and you heard it here on QFM Podcast. We're all gonna try it right here, right now.
How are we gonna try it?
Oh, I mean, we can just water.
Oh, okay.
Waterfall.
Back of the hood. Back of the hood.
Hell yeah.
All right. Nah, but you could tell us. Wow.
Yeah. So okay. She pretty much, so like we talked for a while, and things were going good, and then like she was still hung up on her ex, and that was the red flag that I ignored. And so like it was a constant battle of like, oh, like I don't know how I feel, and like it was a push and pull thing, you know. It was like runner chaser dynamic. So like that thing kept drawing me in, because I'm like my mind like in itself, like it was kind of selfish, you know, because we have this anxious attachment style, and I'm trying to like, you know, get all this from someone and everything, when like I'm not even focusing on myself. I'm not doing shit for myself. I'm trying to get it from someone else, which in reality is kind of selfish, but it's not like selfish in a conscious thing. It was subconscious. Like that's what the real thing was.
I just think you needed that love.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is,
getting it from someone.
I wanted that love.
Yeah,
I didn't need it. I wanted that love, and I thought I needed it because I needed to give that love to myself. I didn't need that from her or anyone else. I wanted that love from her or someone else. See, because there's that big difference.
I'm saying, like, you know, you need love here and there. You know
absolutely,
what I mean? That's all I'm saying. But like you said, you need to love yourself first before you get it
exactly.
From
and like romantic love is like so idolized. Yeah. Like people are like, oh, this is the love right here, but like, if you got love from your family, you got love from your friends, you got people who support you no matter like whatever the fuck happens, that's real love right there. And if you got love for yourself, then you will find romantic love at some point. And if you don't, you'll still be okay. Because like family and like friend love, it's underrated now because people are like, oh, I want to be affectionate and this and that, you know, like I want pussy and everything, like,
and people
but they don't realize,
and people have different versions of love that they have to understand.
Yeah,
just because this person not buying you gifts doesn't mean that they're not there in the hard times.
Exactly.
As well. I don't. No pun intended, because my name is Gifted, right? I don't give a fuck about the gifts you give me.
Yeah.
Because those gifts can be easily taken back.
Exactly.
He could let me, KJ can let me have that right now. If we get into an argument, he could take that back.
Yeah, exactly.
But the one thing you can't take back is time.
Facts.
That's the best gift you can give to somebody. For real. I'm like going to be I'm like, yo, I appreciate it, bro. You didn't have to come.
Yeah, exactly.
But you did. So it's like time is something that you can't give back. Even if that like it was wasted, it still was given, and you can't take it back from somebody. It's valuable.
It's not what somebody can do for you; it's what they do for you. You know, like they if someone actually listens to you, they appreciate your mindset. Like they give you an outlet if you need it, or like they just listen. Like that's one thing that I feel like I would value over gifts. Like material shit, I don't care about. Like you buy me something, okay, I got money too. I can go buy it. I'll appreciate that, but that doesn't really show me much. And like some people, that's their way of giving because like maybe their parents did that too to give them love. You know, they were just like, oh, let me buy you stuff. But it's about like emotional connection. Like, and it can be platonic as well, you know, like just having the depth to understand someone like one of your friends, you know, like that's good shit right there. Like to be understood and accepted by someone, that's something that everybody craves. And like when you start to accept and like understand yourself more, that's when more people will understand you because you can be more articulate because you know yourself better. Like you can't tell someone about you if you really haven't asked yourself questions or like know shit about yourself.
Facts. And so was that, so like with, you know, I guess your toxic necessity at that point in time.
Yeah.
What was, I guess, like, what was like, yo, I'm done. I don't want to be.
So what made it happen was, okay, so
pretty good.
This girl, like, she even told me she didn't want, she told me she didn't want a relationship afterwards. And I had already told her I would take her to prom. And the thing about like me is like, I made a promise, so I still took her, you know, even though it was fucked up. I was like, you know, like you're fucking with me right now, but I made a promise, so I'll take you. Cause like she didn't get to go like the last year before, so I was like, you know what, fine, I'll do it just because. And then after that night, I remember like she would send me snaps with her hanging with another dude, and once that happened, I was like, fuck you, I'm done. Nah, fuck that shit. Like it just like visually seeing that, I was like, I drew the line. I was like, nah. And like then she would block me on her story and post this dude. And like my sister would see that shit and be like, yo, and I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. So like, fuck you for real. And like I just
dipped. Contacted you back?
Nah. I actually after a while, like I cut her off completely, and then like she would try texting me, and because like she would keep my fucking name in her mouth, and like she would make TikTok videos and like throw shots at me and my ex. Yeah, like she would throw shots at me and my ex, and like I'm like, you're jealous of her? Like we didn't even date. Like we were talking for a while. Like I was gonna date, but you like, and you're fucking with me like on TikTok. Like that's so childish. And so
that's
like
toxic, right?
Yeah,
that's a toxic necessity. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I kept going back to it and shit. But like that was the first song I ever sang on. Like that was the first song I ever decided to sing on and put out. And like I know it wasn't the greatest, but I'm so proud of it because like it's
that
decent.
Was you. That was you.
That was me. That was authentic. Like that was me trying and branching out. And like I've always been very insecure about my voice for the longest time. Like now I'm comfortable in it, but now I'm like, yo, I like my voice. Like this is me. This is my body. Like this is a part of me. Like I gotta accept that shit. I can't have another voice, and I'm gonna do what I can with my voice because it's unique.
Yeah, and I feel like also is like I guess I guess for the people that have done wrong. Oh yeah, that shit. That's fire.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That man took. That man did it. Yo,
I fuck with it. Yo,
Shout
that
out
shit.
KSI and Logan Paul.
I feel like you put that shit in the freezer.
That tastes like.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hit different.
It tastes like
It's like an icy kind of. I don't know, like
it tastes like a Gatorade, but not the Gatorade from like the actual bottle, but like the powder Gatorade.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Okay, yeah.
Nah, but I think that was a really good song. But I feel as if a lot of songs or really anything, and respectfully, you know, because that's the majority of of I guess like of any interaction. Is really the person that has been done wrong to.
Yeah.
But I feel like when people have done wrong and they want to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that leads into something like bigger. Like people like will constantly put themselves down and like, oh, like I made a mistake, I did something wrong, like I did someone wrong, and then they're like, I want to fix it, like I want to do better, I don't want to continue these same cycles. Those same people will also think they're bad people because they made a bad decision. Good people are great at making bad decisions. We do it all the fucking time. But where it determines whether you're a good person or a bad person is whether you want to grow and learn from it, or if you're comfortable fucking other people over and just continuing these cycles.
The motive.
Yeah,
I think is the motive. Was that what you were saying?
Well, like as far as what?
I'm saying like every action or every word that you give to somebody or even to yourself is really the motive. Because there's, and again, there's just the key of really understanding is looking at the person's motive.
Yeah.
So it's like, there was an example. There was something that happened. Okay, have you watched Taxi Driver? It's with Robert De Niro.
I've heard of it. I have not watched it.
So pretty much it was like in the 1970s, and he came back from the war. And when he was coming back from the war, he ended up becoming a taxi driver. So he was very insecure with himself. It was very toxic masculine.
Yeah.
And there was a scene, there was reasons why, his motive was really to belong. And I think that's what every man is doing, is finding a place to belong.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like he tried to belong in a relationship. That didn't work. He tried to belong and, he tried to belong in something.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He tried to be a hero. Didn't work. Try to kill a quote unquote bad guy, which was a politician.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Right. He kept on. And here's the thing. If you have a problem, you have to figure out how to find a solution.
Yeah.
So, but every time he had a solution in front of him, he would run away from it.
Yeah.
He had a date. He didn't do good in the date.
Yeah.
He did everything that he was supposed to do, as in like he knowing what his problem is.
Yeah.
But he wasn't trying to. He kept self-sabotaging himself.
Yes, exactly.
So as a result, when you keep doing it, and this is where this whole manifestation comes in.
Yeah.
If you keep doing that, it's like it's crazy because like they keep doing it and they don't realize it sometimes.
It's the experiences. Like they continuously experience this one thing. So anytime something's going good, they're just automatically, their brain's like, it's not going to go well. It's going to get fucked up. Like don't even work, don't even push yourself to it. And then they cut it off because they don't even want to experience it again. But like, so many people compare everybody else, and that goes back to the comparisons. Like you're projecting your past experiences with other people onto new people you meet, and because you're still doing the same things and having the same thought processes you did when you met them, the similar thing's going to happen because you're not changing anything. You're just hoping that other people will change and you'll meet the right person. But what inner work are you doing to actually be better so you can resonate with these people? If your vibration is not that high and you're low, you're going to attract toxicity because that's what's going on in your own mind.
Yeah. And when you do meet the right people, you're never going to be grateful of them.
No.
And that's the crazy part. Because, like, I have friends, and I went to Wake Tech. I have friends, and I was hanging around with a whole bunch of people. This is at the time I wasn't really clear on what friends I need to have.
Yeah.
And they were a whole bunch of victims, and not saying as in, like, their trauma isn't justified.
Yeah.
Because their trauma, whatever trauma you going through.
It's all justified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what are you doing about it?
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? That's the thing. What are you doing to fix that situation? We all, we're all going through traumas and stuff like that. But what are you doing to fix it? You know what I mean? What are you doing? Are you going to hang around? Because like I was like, I'm around with, my ex-girlfriend was toxic.
Yeah.
2 years ago. I'm like, I need to stop.
Yeah.
And all those people that were just like my ex, those were all those people.
Yep.
They were all like that to a certain extent. I'll be like, I'll be like, yo, what's up, man? Some girl will be like, oh, I got molested when I was 6. What?
Like just out of the blue?
Just out of the blue. I had nothing to do with anything. What type of things we're like, we're chilling, we're having fun. And you got like a person having a sad story. Like, where's the violin? You got to bring the violin every time she talks.
I mean, and it's like, I'm not negating that happened, but like, why'd you bring it up abruptly like that? Like, because then that leads people to make like an assumption, like, are you looking for attention? And it's like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But like, regardless, it's like a lot of people, like, especially if they're like trying to get pity or something, they'll just do it in any situation.
And the thing is, it could be any sanction. It could be a negative sanction. It could be positive.
Yeah.
They don't care about what type of reaction it is. I'm saying for those people, but they just care if you get a reaction or not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the thing that gets you mad. And at first I was like, man, I'm not I don't want to be around those people no more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like what you got to realize is everyone is going through some sort of trauma.
Exactly.
Discovery.
That's why nothing like that anyone does has anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Like based on their decision, like let's say they lead you on, fuck you over, whatever. Like that had nothing to do with you. It was nothing you did wrong. You didn't fucking do anything right or wrong. Like I remember seeing a video of Kanye talking like
we did a video
everything's a test. It's like if you make your life a test. Like if you're always trying to do the right thing or the wrong thing, like that's why you have so much anxiety in their life, because like everything is just a test. You're trying to do the right thing and then it's wrong, and so that like you don't need to focus on saying the right thing or doing the wrong thing, because whatever you do, that's the right thing, because it's all gonna work out anyways. So like spending all your time being like, oh, is this the right thing to do? Is this the wrong thing to do? Like you know right or wrong in your own head, but like for just speaking in general or just anything, like just go for it. You know, like don't just like be like irresponsibly like impulsive, but like at least just go for shit, because like what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like it could turn out better than you could expect.
Facts. Like and it's you like, okay, shit. It's like this. You got to play Call of Duty. You have to. Did you play it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Y'all played it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was like this scene. Yeah, they hate my analogies, but there was like this scene to where like they're, you know, Captain Price is talking with Soap or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's when they're trying to kill General Shepard.
Yeah, yeah.
And Captain, you know, like Soap is like, yo, look, we got to take him out, right? And Captain Price is silent for a minute. And Soap is like, yo, Price. But, you know, that's not his actual name. That's his nickname. You know, his real name is John McTish, but that's his nickname. So Price is like, you know, regardless of what happens, we made this decision. This is one of my favorite quotes. And this makes me feel better a lot of my decisions. Mm-hmm. Because I get to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Not no one else. I get to make that.
You're in control.
So it's like, it feels a lot better with me making it and me consciously making it than someone else making it.
Yeah.
Like that's that's like me and you, and I ask you, like, there's a girl right there. Mm-hmm. What would you rather do? Would you rather me talk to her or me get you to talk to her for me?
I'd tell you to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if something goes bad, for me, I know what to improve on. But if you do that for me, you may say something that I wouldn't say.
Exactly.
So it's like, that's not really your test.
I can't speak for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that happened to me too. Like it was crazy. Like this girl was feeling me and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then my brother's roommate at the time texted her on my phone and she was like, good night. I'm like, what did you say? And I look what he said. I said, that's not me, bro. Why the fuck would you do that?
That's some bullshit.
That's not me, bro. You trying to sabotage me and stuff. Like, come on, bro. Why?
Yeah.
But it made me feel better because, like, if me doing it, I'd rather me do it and me commit it than someone else actually doing it.
Especially if, like, it don't go well. Exactly. Then it's like, oh, well, if I would have done it, maybe it would have been different. Yeah. It's like, and at least if I did it, then I would acknowledge
you can't take
I
it
messed
back
up
either.
Or whatever happened. So, like, I just keep moving.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the thing. People are so afraid of rejection. Like, you got to get over being, like, the fear of rejection because, like, it's not going to do anything but build your courage and your, like, actual confidence.
Not everyone's going to see your value.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with people misunderstanding you and not seeing your value, because as long as you see it, then the people around you as well will see that because it'll shine. But, like, you can't go out looking for people and being like, look how great I am. Like, no, fuck that shit. Like, they're going to see you how they see you, and you can't help that. Fact. Everybody's thoughts creates their perception. That perception creates their reality. So whatever they think about you, whatever the perception is, that's what it's going to be, you know? Like, reality is different for everybody. Like, what's reality for you is different for me. There's a lot of different things that I look at life and I'm like, oh, wow, this is that way, but you look at it differently. And, like, same thing with bees and shit like that. Like, they see ultraviolet colors and, like, different things, and, like, they all have, like, different motives and shit in their head and, like, thought processes, like, and they just do it, like, instinctually. So, like, their reality is completely different. They see, like, all sorts of colors and everything in here, but we just see colors.
Yeah.
We don't see the air, none of that.
You know, so, you know, again, so we got, how do you say your name? Like your
Raiz.
Raiz, okay, yeah. Raiz. So we got Raiz, you know, he got 4 of his songs, Toxic Necessities, Feed the Clip, Evid Freestyle, and Count on My Blessings are really good songs. I really suggest you guys listen to them.
Appreciate
and again,
that, man.
it is RAIZ on
sir.
SoundCloud. And again, thank you guys for listening to the Quest of the Future Messiahs. Thank you so much. Once again, follow us on Instagram.
Of course.
And subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys.
We out here.
See y'all.
If you go,
yeah, will you go? Will you leave?
leave me hurting. It's okay because every day the more I'm learning. I started working, searching, looking deep below the surface. Used to hide behind the curtains, took them down and then resurfaced. Now I'm back with more to give without a vengeance. I learned in life it's more important to just give forgiveness. Instead of looking back, just take the facts and learn the lessons. Your life becomes what you invest in. Know this shit and stay connected. It's all collective. Some people that you meet in life will give deception, and then they'll make you feel like shit and leave you second guessing.